I used to think I had to do 10 different exercises every workout to get a sculpted upper body. But after months of seeing barely any progress, I was tired, I was frustrated, so I cut my workouts in half. And the crazy thing is, the speed of my progress literally doubled. So today I'm going to take you through my whole upper body workout. There's only got 5 exercises. I'm going to share all the tips and tricks that help me get the most growth possible, as well as how to structure upper body workouts and mistakes to avoid that will seriously hold you back. This video is part of our new gym workout series where I'm walking you through a full week of workouts. So if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Go subscribe. But jumping into today's workout, first, as always, baddies don't skip their warm-ups, so we're going to do 5 minutes of light cardio, followed by some dynamic stretching. Today's workout is designed to be done in just a small corner of the gym because it doesn't use too much equipment, and it's actually part of my new 5-day muscle growth plan, which I just launched as part of my coaching, so if you want to apply for that, the link will be in the description. First up, we're doing barbell overhead press. No, it's not the most optimal shoulder exercise to grow the shoulders, but we already did seated shoulder press in our first upper body workout of the week. So really, overhead press just helps switch things up a bit, and we can target the muscles in a slightly different way. We've got 3 sets of this, so to set up, you want to grab the bar slightly wider than shoulder width with an overhand grip so that when you lift the bar upwards, your palm should be facing forwards. Initially, the bar should rest on your upper chest just below your collarbone, and you want your feet to be shoulder width apart as well. To initiate the movement, make sure that you're bracing your core. I find it really helpful to keep my gaze in a fixed position and push the bar up straight overhead while keeping your elbows slightly forwards. When you're at the very top, you kind of create a little window with your arms in the bar, and I want you to push your head through that window, and that's going to be your top position. And remember to control the weight on the way down. As you get towards the end reps, or as you lift a heavier weight, then it is going to be harder to get the bar up, and you can sometimes fall into overarching your lower back. A few other things you want to look out for is 1, flaring your elbows out too much, and 2, using too much momentum to get the bar up. This can actually turn into a completely different exercise called push press, and basically for push press you're using a lot more leg drive to push the bar up in sort of an explosive movement, whereas when you're doing a strict overhead press you really don't want to be using leg drive at all. Standing overhead press is a compound movement because it uses multiple muscle groups, and in general when we're structuring our workouts we usually want the compound movements first while we've got the most energy, so we can lift heavier and get more out of them. There are some exceptions, and this usually leads into more advanced techniques, but for most people putting the compound exercises first is going to be the best option. Next, we're going to head over to the cable machine and do an isolation exercises for your side delt. So this is the side part of your shoulders that really works to make your shoulders pop. I actually found this variation a few months ago and I've absolutely fallen in love with it since, but it's cuffed cable lateral raises. I prefer this to dumbbell lateral raises because when you use the cable machine, you're going to have constant tension on your shoulders, whereas when you're doing lateral raises with dumbbells, you're only going to have the tension on your shoulders on the way up, and you're not really going to have much tension at all on the way down because you're working in the same direction as gravity. On the downwards motion with cables though, you're going to be constantly working to resist the pull of the cables, so that means your shoulders are going to be under tension for longer in total, which is really important for muscle growth. I will say the setup for this one does take a little bit of getting used to, but what you want to do is bring a bench up so that it's facing the cable machine, and you want to make sure that it's centered with a slight incline and the 2 cable pulleys are close to the bottom. To get into position, I like to attach the cuff attachments to the cables before I actually put my hands in. I just find it easier to set up that way, and they're the same cuff attachments as we used for cable kickbacks in our last glute workout. You'll want to pick a really light weight for this and cross one hand over the other and slip your hands into the cuff attachments. You're going to lie back on the bench and push your arms out to the sides, aiming to initiate the movement from your shoulders. I like to add in a little pause at the top and then slowly, with control, we love the control, slowly lower the weight back down. You want to stop moving just before your hands touch together so that you're keeping the tension on your shoulders, and then reverse the movement to do your next rep. When I say this movement gives me the best shoulder pump, you guys, let me know how it goes for you, because honestly, the first time I tried this, I was in shock. I'm just saying, if this workout doesn't give you a nasty shoulder pump, I don't know what will. Next, we're going to spin the bench around so that the seat is facing away from the cable machine this time. And we're going to do one of my absolute favourite back exercises. Although, I do love a lot of back exercise. I just love training back, you guys. But anyway, we're doing single arm cable rows. You want the back of the bench set up at a comfortable height so you can put your non-working hand on it to keep you stable throughout the movement. I like to angle the bench slightly differently for each each arm because it helps me access the cable machine a bit better. You want the cable pulley set up at about waist height, and you're going to attach the handle attachment. To start the movement, you want to grip the handle with a neutral grip so your palms facing inwards, and extend your arm fully while keeping your chest up. Drive your elbow back and down towards your torso, and I like to think of it as trying to get my elbow in my back pocket. The way I get the most out of this exercise is really following the movement. So when I bring the cable forwards, I'm allowing my lat to stretch out, feeling that stretch a lot at the top of the movement, and then driving back with my elbow. You want to keep it slow and controlled when you're extending your arm back out, and trust me, you're really going to be feeling the tension on your lats in this movement. And once you've done one side, obviously remember to do the other side, and I like to shuffle the bench at this point so I can get better access again. If you're struggling to feel your lats when you're doing the movement, try playing around with the height of the cable pulley, see if it works a bit better when it's higher up for you or lower down, but I find somewhere in the middle usually helps me to feel my lats the most. Now we're going to get rid of the bench, but we're staying at the cable machine for a little cheeky bicep and tricep superset. First, we're starting with triceps. You're going to attach the rope attachment and bring the cable pulley to about eye level. You want to grab the rope with a neutral grip so your palms are facing each other, and stand with your feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent and core engaged. To start, bring the rope close to your chest with your elbows tucked tight into your sides. When you're pushing down, you want to extend your arms straight down while spreading the rope apart at the bottom. When you reach that bottom position, fully extend your elbows and squeeze your triceps as hard as you can. And then of course, slow and controlled on the way up. A few common mistakes you want to look out for is leaning forwards too much, flaring your elbows out too much, or using too much momentum. After you've finished your first set of tricep pushdowns, we're going to go straight into the next exercise, which is behind the back cable curls. So we're going to put the cable pulleys towards the bottom of the cable machine and attach the handle attachments again. Stand facing away from the cable machine and grab the handles with an underhand grip. You want to step forward slightly so your arm's in a stretched position before you even start the movement. As you're curling the way up, you want to keep your elbows in a fairly fixed position and curl the handle towards your shoulder. When you get to the top, make sure to squeeze your biceps as hard as you can and then slowly lower the weight back to the start position. You should be feeling a really deep stretch in your biceps at the bottom of the movement, and ideally you want to keep your upper arm and your elbow in a fairly fixed position throughout, so your forearm should be going through most of the movement. Then once you've done one set of triceps and one set of biceps back to back, you're going to rest and then repeat the whole thing. And then you have your super little arm superset. Okay, now we have a spicy finisher to really burn out your back. This is by far my favorite finisher that I did throughout my whole fitness journey, and you've got two options here. First, if you're feeling strong, you're going to do 2 sets of as many reps as possible of pull-ups. If you don't have access to bands or a machine and you can't quite get pull-ups yet, then you can try doing chin-ups with your palms facing towards you, because this is going to be a bit easier than pull-ups because you're using more muscle groups like your biceps. Or you can do negative pull-ups where you jump up to the top of the movement and then slowly lower yourself down, and then just do as many reps as possible. However, if you're not feeling strong today like I was, then we're going to do an assisted pull-up drop set. You can use bands for this, but I prefer to use the machine because it's easier to change the resistance. And essentially, all you're going to do is one massive drop set. So first choose the lightest weight that you can do pull-ups with. This is going to be the least resistant, so it's going to be the hardest for you to do. Once you've done as many reps as possible, remembering to squeeze your back when you get to the bottom position and think about trying to get your elbows in your back pockets, you're going to increase the resistance by putting the pin in a lower weight. I mean lower weight as in lower down the stack. It will be a heavier weight because that means it's going to assist you more in the movement, so it'll be easier for you to do. Then you're going to do as many reps as you can with that weight, then you're going to drop the weight again and repeat the process. This is really going to burn out the back, and I want you to focus on building that mind to muscle connection with this one. And when you've dropped the weight 3 to 5 times, then we can call it a day. I like to do just a few static stretches at the end of my workouts, very similar to the ones we did as a warm-up, but just holding them longer. And we're done! Congratulations! Welcome to the biggest upper body pump of your entire life. Remember to get some food in post-workout to fuel up and get some good sleep, because next time we're going to be doing another leg workout. And this one's going to be glutes and hamstrings, so it's going to be tough. But we're not done, because although you have the workout, it can be really helpful to know different strategies and techniques that you can use to build muscle faster. So you need to check out this video next if you want to get a sculpted back. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you there.